to From the Petty Corners reality series recap. I have Azael El Perro Rodriguez here with me today. He was a contestant on season 1, and he is the #1 ranked middleweight. Welcome back to the Petty Corner. So glad to see you.
Glad to see you too, Diana. Thank you for having me.
Of course, you are always welcome here. We are going to be recapping season 3, episode 5 for you guys. But I just have to ask you, Azael, because you are a contestant on season 1 and you are a very big personality on there. I know the house can be a pressure cooker to some people, but do you have any advice for some people that might be joining another season to kind of, I don't know, stay grounded while they're in there and not get into so many fights and everything like that?
Yeah, well, first of all, just the alcohol, obviously, there's a lot of alcohol in the house. Whenever anyone drinks, things get out of hand. So maybe control the alcohol once you get to the house. The alcohol is going to be there for the amount of weeks that you're going to be there. So you don't have to be drinking all the alcohol in one day. That's my first piece of advice. Second, it's kind of inevitable when you have people that are just talking shit all the time and thinking they're the shit. Just if you can avoid them, avoid them. Maybe just agree with them. Let them just live in their head. But if you can't avoid it and they get in your face, obviously, I'm a big advocate to, if they get in your face and they touch you or whatever, fucking slap the shit out of them, punch them. It's okay. Defend yourself. But obviously, you're here to be a professional and show the world that you're here committed to a sport like power slap. So just kind of refrain from doing those kind of things if you can.
Yeah. And Dana also said, because there was a lot of fights and things going on that went on in your house, but Dana was like, if you don't like the guy, just wait, because you can slap the crap out of him. Or something like that, something along those lines. So they did show on the trailer so many fights in the house for this season. We haven't seen them yet. We saw maybe 2 arguments, but they didn't get anything crazy. But it looked like a lot of people was putting their hands on each other in the house. We haven't seen that. The first matchup was Luke Simmons. I'm sorry, Luke, if I'm not pronouncing your name right. I'm terrible with names. And Cesar Gonzalez. Luke has a bodybuilding background. We haven't seen a lot of bodybuilders come in here and dominate yet. We haven't seen that correlation. And then Cesar has an MMA background. Cesar went first. Luke ate the first hit. And then Luke he had an illegal windup, which we also haven't seen. I think we've only seen that one other time, maybe 2. So after the illegal windup, Cesar sat Luke down, but then they called him for stepping. And then Luke knocked him out. And I was like, holy fuck. I was super impressed with that because, like I said, we haven't seen a lot of bodybuilders the correlation from bodybuilding turn over to power slap. So, but what did you think of those matchups and their performances?
Yeah, so I was actually there in person watching those.
You were?
Two. Yeah, and I was like, whoa. When I saw Luke knock out Cesar, I was like, holy shit. I looked over at some of the other light heavyweights and I'm like, damn, you guys are about to get slapped hard. But like you said, the correlation of a bodybuilder being able to generate that much power, I think Luke just found that little glitch in how to throw a punch or how to throw a slap. So he's obviously a strong individual. He's obviously has maintained his body physique for a while. So he has the power to hit, has the power to take a hit. So I think it was good to see someone that's finally fit looking to be able to take or to be able to deliver a powerful slap, because whenever you see someone that's that jacked up, you're expecting them to be fucking powerful, and unfortunately we don't really see that, but Luke just showed us that it's possible.
Yeah. So during that matchup with Luke and Cesar, we actually saw some back and forth between Rob and Austin. And Turp Daddy makes me laugh so much. And Rob had such good clapbacks. Rob was saying, fix the boy's ABCs. He doesn't know how to count. And then Turp went off saying, we don't know ABCs. We don't know how to count. All we know how to do is eat.
Yeah, he said something about fuck that school shit. And he said, fuck, what he say? He said some other shit that was funny. He was just like, bro, how do you just clap back like that? Fucking chuckle
Yeah,
fun.
he said we're straight dogs. We just hunt. And then Rob's like, it's a
We don't do
numbers
that pussy
game, and he
shit.
said, yeah. So that was funny. It was kind of cool to see some pettiness going back and forth between the coaches because they're different weight classes. They're obviously not going to go against each other, but it was like the first time that we saw them kind of have some banter. So that was cool. Then the next match was the heavyweights. We had Wes and James. It was a little bit of a sloppy match. It ended in a DQ. Wes clubbed him, and then when it was Wes's turn to get slapped, he got a flinching foul, and they were going to call James for flinching, but the flinch, or they were going to call James for clubbing, but the flinch took precedence over that. So Wes got to get slapped again. So it was Wes's turn to slap James again. He DQ'd out because he got another clubbing. I kind of expected a little more out of both of them, but maybe just the nerves and the big stage get the best of them. But yeah, what do you think of those guys?
Yeah, definitely. It was the first time, obviously. So the clubs and the fouls, I didn't think they were like majorly bad to be giving them bad. It wasn't a bad match. It was definitely a good exchange of two big heavyweights, powerful heavyweights. So I really enjoyed that they were able to still feel each other's powers, give each other their best slaps. That obviously cutting down those fouls would make it a lot better, so we could have a determined winner. But I don't feel like the fouls were super bad enough to just be able to say it was like the sloppiest. Definitely, I see both of those guys being able to clean it up, clean themselves up, and be able to come back and be someone that's going to be able to take out some of these guys in the rankings. So I'm looking forward to both of them fighting again.
Yeah. And Wes has a similar background to Nate Bernard, and Nate is ranked number 2, I believe. So I guess I might expect more out of him. But we'll see. We'll see what happens in the future. Then they showed a little bit of the drinking in the house. I was expecting for some shit to pop off. I love me some trash reality TV. And, in the trailer, they showed so many fights. We haven't seen that yet. Like, I am dying to see that. They need to make the episodes longer so they can fit that stuff in. There's other people out there like me that shamelessly love reality TV. The next match was Dale Miner and Darren Godfrey. Dale's a returning contestant. It's great to see, he's from the UK, so it's great to see other people coming in from other countries. It's just showing the growth of the sport. Hopefully we're going to get into those places soon. We already know it's big in Russia and Abu Dhabi, the Middle East. So we're going to not we're. They're going to start going to all those other places. So just seeing contestants from other places as well, it's really nice to see that. Dale went first and then Darren flinched, so Darren had to get hit again, and then Darren came in and he knocked him out, and he's like, that kind of told me, he's like, I want to be here. I'm here to stay, and nobody can run me out of here. So I'm excited to see what's next for him. But what do you think of those two guys?
I think I got to meet both of them. They're obviously really good, awesome guys, friendly. They have a lot of heart. They have a lot of good reason to be in the sport and want to be in the top. But when it comes to, just want to bring up, when it comes to flinching, I always expect if you get a free shot, knock out your opponent, you get a free shot, like, I don't know. But as far as their performance, obviously, again, these are two individuals that need to clean up a little bit. And um, I don't know. I feel like I want to be straight out with just with everyone. And I think these two would do really good at 170. I think 185s, uh, they showed that they have some potential to be up in the 185s and fight some of us, but I feel like their strong suit would be at 170 based on just this performance. But maybe I don't know. Who knows? It could have been different if they would have faced someone that probably already had experience. I mean, Darren already has experience at the 185s, but uh, I think I'm going off on a little rant. I just feel like a lot of these guys need
No.
to go down to 170s. But Performance was good. I really liked the heart. They both didn't want to go down. I always respect that when it comes to this game. Those that could just take the hit if they get knocked down and they still want to come back, bounce back up. I really respect that. Rather than just falling asleep like completely. So respect to both of these guys for sure.
Yeah. No, I love that you say that though, because if you look back at season 1 and season 2, when they get the call, they come off the couch. So they're just fighting at the weight that they're standing at. But as an athlete, they can lose weight and they can go down
Yeah.
a weight class and they can completely dominate. So I agree with you there. I'm excited to see what's next for them. That wrapped up episode 5, but they always show a preview of who's next. So we have Bono Pau and first Evan Jenkins, Dominic Melendez versus Vince Tracy, and Raiden Bombardier versus Neil Thomason. So I'm excited to see those.
Yeah, I'm excited too. What was that?
No, go ahead.
I'm excited to see those, especially with Vince. I don't know if you were around before, but Vince, I think since season 1 aired, Vince has been someone that has been posting nonstop on his social media of him training, of him just wanting to be in Power Slap. So for him to get an opportunity for season 3 was just something that was like mind blowing. Just like he finally got the call. Other people were getting the call to be like in the pre-recorded events, and now Vince got the opportunity to be in the house. So I'm excited for Vince for sure. But some of these other guys like Raiden, obviously Raiden is really a really cool cat with me. He's also Mexican from Cali, and some of these other guys, I'm excited. Pono too. Pono lives out here in San Diego, so I'm excited for Pono. I know that motherfucker can bring it. So expect some good slaps this next episode.
I love it. So you were there. I had no idea that you were there. Who do you think is the pettiest person from, we'll say, this episode?
Um, from this episode, obviously James. I feel like if you get to know the real James and how he is, like, uh, he's pretty petty. He's not in a bad way. He's a character for sure. So I think James, and yeah, I have other ones that probably would come in mind for the rest of the season, but we'll talk about it when that person comes out.
Yeah, I love it. James, Rob also said James was the pettiest on this season too. So
Yes.
he needs to bring his ass here and give me some answers.
Yeah, for sure. He needs to show you that pettiness
Yeah.
and just give you a good show.
I always ask the former contestants if you had one piece of advice that you can offer to someone who is wanting to join Power Slap, coming in as just a new person off the couch or an athlete or whatever. What piece of advice could you offer someone that's wanting to join the sport?
Begin training. As soon as you start getting that idea that this might be for you and you might want to explore competing in this sport, even if you haven't submitted the application, start fucking working, start training. Because once you get on that stage and say you only have a little bit of time training, it's gonna bite you in the ass. So um, start training all aspects of your body, run, and also just be mindful. Are you really cut out for this mentally, not just physically, but mentally? Start thinking about whether you're going to be able to be up there and take a fucking slap and deliver one right back, because you don't want to get slapped to sleep in the first fucking match and the whole world's going to see it. So be mindful of that too.
Yeah. You can be like Nate Bernard and grab your friends, go into your basement, and just have them slap you to see if you can take a slap.
Exactly. Yeah, that would work. I slap the shit out of myself a couple times a month. Like I'll just go in front of a mirror and be like, 1, 2, and then and I do both sides just to fucking just like feel it, you know? So, not just feel if I can take the hit, but also feel how my power is doing.
That is wild. Nobody has ever said that to me before. But I mean, you are number 1 ranked for a reason. Do you go like full force on yourself?
Yeah. If I feel like if I like held back just a tiny bit, I'll be like, I have to hit myself one more time. And it's funny because I'll be in the bathroom mirror and then I'll be like, oh fuck. And then my wife will be like, ¿qué hiciste? Like, what'd you do? And I'm like, I just slapped myself. She's like, you're so stupid. But it happens every month. I promise you. Every month, at least twice a month, I have to feel that power just to not be fucking surprised. You know, you gotta stay ready.
I love it. I've never heard that before.
Yeah,
Do you just like if you don't slap yourself hard enough, do you just look at yourself in the mirror and you're like, ah, pendejo?
nah. Usually I slap myself really hard that I like smile at myself like and then just nod my head.
That's funny. I love it. Well, Azael, thank you so much for joining me and recapping this last episode with me. I really appreciate you being here, and I can't wait to see what's next for you. Always a pleasure having you.
Thank you, Dan. Always a pleasure being on. Thank you for having me.
Of course. And for those of you tuning in, thank you for being here. See you next Tuesday, and quédense, peri cabrones, pinches.
Pinches cabrones.
Pinches cabrones.